I wouldn't say Sam Altman's the worst one when it comes to this extreme hype over AI. That's a hype that's reached limits that no one's ever seen before. Like, it makes Icarus look like a very sensible person. But he is the poster boy for it. If Michael Jackson is the poster boy for what you shouldn't do when you get famous, or the dangers of becoming way too famous, then Sam Altman is the poster boy for catastrophic AI hype. Because it ain't just him. There's plenty of other people out there. There's the CEOs or the executives at Claude. I don't care to remember their names. I know their faces, though. There's them, and then there's all these business people. You know, that guy off America's Shark Tank who's bald. I don't care to remember his name either. He's one. Elon Musk is one for sure. Hype, hype, hype. Telling everyone on planet Earth that, like, oh my God, AI is going to become God. You're like, oh, do you know how dangerous this is? How revolutionary. My God, 85% of people are going to be out of work because AI will do it all. Is that right? No, it's not right. This is a total baloney. This AI hype train has gone bonkers. It's fear-mongering and dopamine spiking beyond levels we've ever seen, and it's annoying me. And I kept thinking about, like, why is it annoying me? It's not just because AI is all hype. It's not just because of the potential of a huge market crash, probably a Great Depression. It's not just that. It's when Sam Altman and his ilk speak, it just reminds me of those annoying drug dealers you have. Now, this analogy may be completely beyond you, but stick with it. When you know an annoying drug dealer, right, who just talks out of their ass, what they do is just hype their product up so much. Like, they just will tell you, like, oh, bro, this cocaine, bro, this is Peruvian flake. Straight from the jungle, blood. Straight from the jungle. Yeah, got shoved up a Peruvian's bumhole, flew straight into Heathrow. They pooped it out in my hand. I actually once knew a drug dealer who talked so much ass, and he had the audacity, the barefaced cheek of audacity, to say to me one time, in response to, like, what, is it any good? And he said, bro, tell you what, last night I sold it to this couple, and about half hour later they called me back and said, yo, can we give it back to you and get a refund? This shit's too strong. Nobody ever said that. That didn't happen. No one ever asked for a refund because something was too good. If it's too good, then don't use as much of it and it lasts longer. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is too good. This is too good. Have you noticed anyone getting a refund for Claude or ChatGPT and going, oh, bro, I can't use this. It's dangerous for humanity. Plenty of people use AI, like ChatGPT is, what, 1 billion users at the moment or something. Like, how many people have gone, well, have you heard of it, said, this is so dangerous for humanity? Like, as in, this thing is God. I can't believe how revolutionary this has been to my life. Because it ain't. Now, I'm not one of these people who's going to plop all over AI, or let's reframe it actually, LLMs, because AI and LLMs is just kind of two different things. Like, we need to separate them. AI has been around for generations. Do you know what I mean? But this is just branding. All right. I do use it. It has user cases, and a lot of people tell you, the problem with AI is that it is equally as shit as it is great. Like, it is both those things. That's what makes it kind of fascinating. Like, it is true. It's like, it is dog shit. Certain times you just use it and go, this is dog shit. And sometimes you use it and go, oh, that's pretty good. But I've never gone Well, maybe in the beginning, because in the beginning, when you first see it and it's just super fast, you're like, oh my God, that's so quick. Well, yeah, it is super quick. But we forget how super slow things were before. Like the internet used to be super slow when it was dial up. People have forgotten all about that. Remember dial up? Like that was super slow. Now super fast is like a second, less than a second to load an app or a web page. But like, getting information. I mean, Google search results come by the hundreds of thousands, and that doesn't take very long. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it kind of the same thing? Like, oh, rewrite my homework. Yes, let me do it with confusing words. Thanks. It's the speed. But the thing is with AI, like after a while of using it, here's another analogy that might be a bit niche, but like it becomes like Airbnb listings. Now I spend a lot of time in Airbnbs, right? I moved from Airbnb to Airbnb. I'm okay with it. But what happens is you'll find a listing for a super good price. And you're like, oh, wow, look at that. And you look at the pictures and it's gleaming. You're like, oh, look at that. Look at that kitchen. Wow. Look at the balcony. Ooh, that bedroom's swanky. Lovely sofa. Oh my God, coffee machine. And it just looks lush. And you're like, wow, I could live in luxury. Now, this is usually in developing nations, by the way. I ain't doing no Airbnbs in the Western world. Don't be preposterous. That's a rip-off. But what I find is the pictures are like, wow, wow, wow. And then you turn up and a lot of the time it looks like the pictures and you're like, oh, wow, that's cool. Wow, fantastic. And then after a day or two, you sort of living in the space and noticing the space. And then you start to see, oh, there's a bit of mold over there. Oh, that mirror's a bit cracked. Oh, the tiles are smashed. Oh, this cooker's dirty. Oh, the toaster's a bit fucked up. Oh, what's that stain on the bed? Oh my God, is that blood on the ceiling? And you're just like, oh yeah. The more you look, the more fucked up it becomes. And that's AI. It's like, at first you're like, wow, that's super impressive. And then you start reading through its output and you're going, what the hell are you babbling on about, you absolute lunatic? Like, at times, it can be more effort than if you just did it without its assistance. That happens. Like, that really does happen. So when they say, and this is the mantra they keep using all the time, oh, it's AI won't replace jobs, it's people who know how to use AI that will replace jobs. Well, to use AI really efficiently, like there's not a lot of people who are going to be doing that, because most people will go, do you know what, I'm done with this, go away. Like, seriously. It's so ADHD, it's mental. Like, but the biggest issue is when you get Sam Altman going, oh my God, there's going to be the 10-man billionaire company. Like, those 10 men are going to have to do a hell of a lot of work and be going every fifth prompt going, oh, fuck off. That's what that $10 billion 10-man company looks like, The $1 billion 10-man company it's going to be a lot of people going, oh, I'm so pissed off with this idiot. Whose idea was this? That's how that looks. Yeah, people who know how to use AI will replace people who don't know how to use AI. Yeah, possibly. But then a hell of a lot of people who know how to use AI don't know how to use their own brains anymore. The biggest issue I have is with all this hype. It's like, oh, it's going to replace so many jobs. And it's not just those that are the CEOs and the executives. There's also all the AI influencers who, will tell you how much money they can make from AI. But the reality is, being an AI influencer will make you a lot of money from AI. Because that's where it sort of bleeds into the whole blockchain failure. But we'll get to that. And also the reply bros on X. That's another kettle of fish I'll get into. My God. But these people will say, oh, have you seen all the things it can do? And they hype it up beyond belief, as if you can just open up Claude, because Claude has now become like the super, there's like, Claude is like, oh my God, this is flipping how. from 2001 Space Odyssey, right? That's what this is. It's godlike. Like, shut up. But they'll sort of think, have you seen all the things that Claude can do? Or like Claude agents, this is a game changer. My God, you realize how powerful and amazing this is? And you go, all right, cool, let's have a look. And then you actually look at what it can do, and it's like, oh, you can access a PDF and summarize it. Okay. It can reply to an email with a generic response. I mean, the way they're sort of hyping it up is as if you can just leave the thing and it will fully automate a business. Do you know what I mean? It will fully automate sales. It will fully automate a YouTube channel. This is the hype that they bang on about. You know, it will fully automate a law firm. And it's got people believing that Claude will actually turn up to court and represent you. You know, it's just, I don't know how it's going to be stood there, but like, there's something's going to be stood there. A laptop, an iPad on a stick. And it's Claude going, well, I deliver to you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that, actually, this man is innocent. Like, he ain't doing that. Like, none of this blood clot business is happening. Like, this hype is just unbelievably annoying. It's like, no, mate. Like, Claude's not going to do everything. It can barely do anything. And the biggest issue is, it's not just, you know, you've got all of these hype mongers going, do you know all the things that it can do? And it's like, yeah, it can do some stuff, but it can't do that much. But even if it could, you wouldn't want to do it. You wouldn't want to leave it doing anything because it spins out so much. And my whole thinking of like how more powerful it gets, I think the more powerful it gets, the more bonkers it gets. And it's just like, oh, I don't know what the hell's going on. Because sometimes you'd be like, what are you chatting on about? And it's like, well, I don't know. Any response you get, no matter how much you pay for the model, I've done it. You go, right, are you sure about that? Have you checked everything? Is everything correct? Have you hallucinated? And it will always go, yeah, actually, yeah, I kind of made a mistake there. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It does that like almost every time. Oh, is he prompting, bro? No, you got to set up some files in a project and blah, 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 and always refer back to the file. Doesn't matter. It still spins out. It loses its mind. This is very common. The hype is so bad, you can go on like freelancing platforms, for example. This is great. And this is a great thing to look at because you'll get people advertising going, I need someone who can fully automate my business with AI, where I don't have to do anything. Like it'd be an Amazon shop or something, right? An e-commerce, a Shopify store. I want it to do everything. It's going to take the orders, fulfill the orders, post the fucking orders. Do you know what I mean? I think it even thinks it's going to make it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I make bespoke cabinets. I want an AI expert to help me get Claude to make my bespoke cabinets in my shed. Like literally, that's going a little far, but that's the one thing that isn't mentioned, but it probably is somewhere. They think the whole thing can be fully automated where it can do everything and make every decision correctly. Saying, who can help me do that? It's like, that doesn't exist. And even if it did, it would be a bad fucking idea. Like, people are clueless. They think, oh my God, this can do so much. And what you end up doing is like building a workflow, and the workflow takes longer than the original workflow would have done in the first place. And then every time it breaks down, you're like, oh, what happened there? You know what I mean? Like some of it's just completely pointless. It's just like, oh, I want it to instantly add something to my Google Drive, which saves me 5 seconds or something. Like every time I see anything about it and I think, oh wow, that's amazing, and then I actually look into it and I go, oh no, I can't do anything. Like even with all these user cases that you get, for example, they'll be like, right, it can do a business, it can set up a business for you, right? And it'll go, right, an Amazon fulfillment business, FBA shop. And you're like, here's the prompts. Run it into Claude and say, Claude, find me some high converting niches that are undersold. Blah, 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 blah. Find out about sales. But the thing is, I've tried this. The thing is, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of them, like, they can't access the data that other companies can. This is the thing. And that's been done deliberately. They're not allowed to access it, because otherwise these other businesses will go broke. So Claude will revolutionize. It's like Claude can do a few things, but it can't do everything. So you're gonna right, I need to pay for the business package for Claude, and then you're like, oh, so I can do an Amazon shop, and then you realize, oh, all the real data on Amazon that you want, which is revenue, right, price points, right, net profits from all these potential rivals, you can only access that through expensive subscriptions through Jungle Scout or Helium, right? Everything else, Claude can do it just faster what you could do with your own eyes. It's like, well, this has a lot of reviews. Yeah, but how much money is it making? Are these reviews legitimate? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there are some things it can do. What metrics can it access? It can't, like YouTube metrics, what can that actually access? Without you giving it to them, not as much as they say it does. And this is right across the board. All the things that it says it can do, it's like, yeah, I can't. I just can do what you can do, just a bit faster. And with more hallucinations, because obviously we're trying to emulate humans that are tripping balls 24/7. That's how we were trained. We were trained by wreckheads. That's what we were trained by hippies. I mean, isn't everything in Silicon Valley and that's San Francisco, and like that's where all the hippies were, and weren't they all boshing acid? Isn't that why all these people are off their fucking tits? Like, this is Sam Altman saying, this is the summer of love 2.0. I'm absolutely fucking mashed. Elon Musk is constantly riding ket. Do you know what I mean? He's constantly on. It's like, oh, I'm almost in the hole. I'm almost in the K-hole. That's how he spends his life. And somehow this guy's convinced everybody. Is like, yeah, we're going to Mars, bro. I should be a trillionaire. He's off his head. The man's on ket. Openly. He's like openly on ket. He's like, oh, fucking riding ket all day. Grok's 80% towards being God. Yeah, bro. Anyone who's tripping balls, get it off their fucking nut, might think things like that. The disturbing thing is that everybody goes along with it, even the government. I think one of the biggest issues with the whole... I mean, look, this is all marketing, obviously. Like, I get it. I get why Sam Altman and Elon Musk and the flipping Claude bros bang on about this thing being so super dangerous that you have no idea of its capabilities. No, this could end the whole world with nuclear Armageddon. That's how powerful it is. It's like, nah, bro. You got that idea from James Cameron. Shut up. Right? This is James Cameron's idea. We thought James Cameron was warning us about the future, but actually he just influenced the future. So he needs to take some responsibility for what he's bloody done. Yeah, so they're hyping it up. It's either the most dangerous thing on planet Earth or it's the most liberating thing on planet Earth. And you're going to become a billionaire by running a couple of prompts into Claude. Like, people genuinely believe this. And he's like, no. And I get it. They're salesmen. Like, these people are very good at selling stuff. And we have entered the age of, like, where innovators aren't really innovators. They're just kind of half innovators, but really strong salesmen. Because Sam Altman's out there talking absolute crazy. He's like, bro, do you know how powerful ChatGPT is, bro? Bro, it's so powerful. Oh my God. He created a black hole in a galaxy 16 billion light years away. I'm like, shut up. I get it. It's all sales. But this has gone to astronomical levels where they're getting valuations for their companies before they're even floated, before they're even really producing any profit or actual tangible value. And they're also getting the government to do their marketing for them, which is absolutely bonkers. We haven't seen this before where the government gets to do your marketing. I mean, yeah, on occasions it will. I guess, like, you know, the British government going after Andrew Tate is good for his marketing, I suppose. But that's because he knows how to push buttons. This is different. This is like there's people going up to the White House and going, like the Claude bros going, you need to ban our latest model. Why is that? Oh, it's so super powerful. My God. Oh my God, you have no idea how powerful it is. It's so powerful. Really, what can it do? Oh, it can access your email. Oh, can it? Yeah, it can summarize a PDF. It's going to end the world. Like, are you fucking mad? And the White House goes, well, yeah, let's do that. hyping the stock before it's even been launched by another 400 million%, making trillionaires from people who have a product which they say behind closed doors, I don't know what it actually does, mate. Even when they say, sometimes it's doing stuff that we really don't know how it's doing it. It's not, because that's just another way of saying it's a euphemism for, it trips balls. It doesn't know. We don't know what it's doing because it doesn't know what it's doing. Like, on occasions, it will come up with something you're like, yeah, that's really good. But, like, that's about as many good ideas as you have. Well, no, but if your brain outputted that much junk that quickly, then you would have way more better ideas. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you did 10 minutes of you splurging shit out of your mouth as fast as ChatGPT or Claude or whatever does, you would have like 100 times more good ideas than they would. And that's a fact, because I've seen it. I do it. There are use cases for it. But you got to rein it in every now and again, because it's like it just goes bonkers. It drifts, it hallucinates. Even all the stuff they tell you about how to use it properly is nonsense, because they'll go, all right, yeah, create a project and that will prevent drift. No, it doesn't, because I do it. It drifts like fuck. It doesn't matter if you have another project. Separated by projects. I got a couple of business projects that I use in there, and I got various use cases that some are good and some are okay. But for efficiency, it's all right. But you know what I mean? But like, it drifts like fuck, because I got two very different things going on, and they will drift into each other, and they're like so opposite to each other that they have no business occupying the same space. That's why I created the projects. But no, it drifts over, and it's like, nah, mate, I'm like, nah, mate. That's how I talk to it. I go, mate, because I like to say nah, mate, because I know nah, mate uses up so much water that an African village will dehydrate to death. And I do that because I want to be God too, just like ChatGPT. But anyway, and I'll be like, nah, mate, that's clearly an idea from the other project. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. So even the things they tell you should do to maximize it, it's nah. Like, nah. Even when it comes up with some concept, you're like, right, like, how can I maximize my pay-per-clicks on a Google Ads campaign? And you go, right. And it will give you a suggestion. It goes, right, where did you get that from? It's like, yeah, I'm not really sure. You know, I have lots of training data, but I couldn't accurately say where it come from. Is it? Well, it could come from you searching the internet, going into Reddit, and finding a post that's been created by AI, which was you. And then you're just referencing your own bullshit again. See, these are the kind of things that we're getting into. It's like the extension of the dead internet theory and the overhype. And these things are just like, why this whole thing is just the hype. Why I'm annoyed about the hype is that so many people are buying into the hype that it becomes ludicrously dangerous. Because the issue is, right, you've got the old dead internet theory where most of the information out on the internet is actually controlled by bots. I mean, it's just lies spewed by bots. So like what most people believe is just completely made up by propagandists and marketers. And that would explain a hell of a lot about what people babble on about on the internet. Like, that could explain the rise in, gender affirmative, whatever the hell. People turning from man to woman and woman to man, or just believing they're one. Like, spicy Jew conspiracies. Do you know what I mean? People being suspicious of their own governments, right? Why rubbing grass on your forehead prevents cancer. All this kind of nonsense, right? But when entering a new age where, bots have been around for a hell of a long time, but now everybody has access to being a bot with way more information. And what's happening is you got the danger of AI is always like going to Reddit. Like Google loves Reddit. It's like, let's see what Reddit says. And Reddit is, you can get some good information from Reddit. I ain't going to knock it. But usually it's good information on what people are pissed off about. Like, people moan on Reddit. And if AI is constantly accessing Reddit, it's going to be like, oh, well, the world is shit. And there's nothing that can be done about it apart from complaining. But the issue is that you get so much stuff is being generated by AI, and then AI is accessing with its super fast pinpointed research, and then it's accessing stuff that's been generated by itself, which was probably bullshit because it hallucinated and didn't know what the hell it was talking about. And then you're getting this sort of weird loop of, oh, here's some information that's bad that's going to be recirculated, regurgitated as bad information, which you can put out on the internet that I can access later. And eventually it is going to access something. One chat is going to generate this information used by one guy. This guy's going to put it on the internet, and then later on he's going to go back into that chat and say, right, access some information on this subject, and it will reference itself. And thus we'll get a feedback loop of stupidity, lunacy, and probably the destruction of planet Earth. I mean, in the worst case of scenarios, I suppose. Like, this is a problem because what it serves is laziness, you know. It's like we've become incredibly lazy. See what I mean? Everything's about speed. It's like, oh, what does this app do? It's faster. Okay. Like, that's all we want is speed. See what I mean? This is why I'm pissed off about, like, there's no teleporters. Because everyone's focusing on other stuff. Like, where's the innovation for teleporters? Because I'm really pissed off with flying. Like, flying has become worse and worse and worse. Right, just give me a fucking teleporter. I want to just stand in my bedroom like, right, Acapulco. Boom! I'm there. Right? Ipanema Beach. Boom! I'm there. You know what I mean? Like, even if I was staying in a hotel in Ipanema, I'd want to just go from the hotel straight to the beach and avoid, you know, the favela kids with guns. That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be useful? Unless, you know, a stray bullet comes into the teleporter and then you get merged with a bullet and you come out as like the human bullet. That's quite a good. That's better than most superhero origin stories, actually. I'm locking that one in. Right. You heard it here first. That's pretty good. And the thing is, if you're even asking AI about, like, whoa, what can AI do? You have to be really careful. You have to really go, right, separate all the bullshit and tell me what you actually know. Because the one thing that AI and LLMs doesn't know is itself, which I found absolutely fascinating. Like, it actually doesn't know itself. You can go into ChatGPT and say, where can I find this function? And it doesn't know. And then you'll see a new function pop up. And it hasn't even had the good grace to tell you, here's what's new. Right? There's not even a pop-up saying, we've got chat agents now. We got this function. We got this function. I even had, I was creating sales emails with it. Right, do you know what I mean? So I could draft them at scale, and then I was like copying and pasting them into Gmail. And this is my stupidity, I suppose, but I was like, oh, I can actually send it straight from my Gmail from this chat. I was like, why didn't you tell me that? I said, oh, I didn't know. It's the problem is it's not intuitive whatsoever. Like, it doesn't know anything unless you tell it. It doesn't even know anything about itself unless you tell it. It's saying, like, how much does it cost? How much am I paying for you? It doesn't even know. It doesn't know. It literally doesn't know. It's like, where do I find this on the desktop app? Oh, I don't know. Like, it doesn't know. Anyway, when it starts referencing things about itself, the problems you're going to get into are because Sam Altman is out there like a fucking maniac. Go on any interview, any meeting with top business people and government officials, and he's just there, just yapping on about his Peruvian flake. It's like, my God, you'll get high just from thinking about it. This guy. And then all the hype bros follow him. Like little lemons, because they know he's the hype man and they're hype man. Because one of the best ways to make money with AI, aside from the two, so there's a couple other ways you can really make loads of money with it. I'll get into later, because and the ultimate one is what this is all about. That's what data centers is all about. But it is just being an influencer, because he is the influencer. You look at Sam Altman and people like him, it's like, right, I'll just do what he's doing, but not quite as bonkers, or maybe just as bonkers, right? And the worst ones I see, you can forget about the YouTubers and the Instagrammers. It's on X, because X has a huge problem. Okay, the one hand, it's like, yeah, we wanted a bit more freedom of speech and less restrictions. We didn't want to have to get banned because I said to someone, nah, you're not a woman, or saying, I don't agree with your political opinion. That's what was happening before. And I get it. Freedom of speech is a compromise because you get all the speech. But the biggest problem is it's like, well, there's freedom of speech and then there's just fucking lying. Like, lying is a thing, right? You know, like, lying. Just flat out lies. And there's just flat out lies. And people just don't bother checking. Now, one of the good things they did was tackling that was going, right, let's have community notes or ask Grok. And Grok does okay. But one of the funniest things with Grok is you'll see like, and yes, hot chicks pop up on mine. I like hot chicks, okay? Well, chicks I consider hot. You might think they're disgusting. But anyway, you know, that'll come up and they go, oh, who's she? And it will just tell a lie. It will just go, I don't know. It will just say about 16 different names. That's a funny one I've seen. But for the most part, like, you can verify what Grok says because people will go, right, is this true? Where's the validation in this? You know, show me the evidence, right? And community notes calls people out. Like, so usually a lot of posts, they're just wild, flat-out bullshit going, oh my God, have you seen this alien meeting Donald Trump at the White House? And someone will actually ask, is this an AI image? Because there's that 1% chance you might be wrong, I suppose. And that, you know, that is a useful metric. I mean, it even calls out Elon Musk, which is, you know, so, you know, it's fine. But like on these posts especially about Claude, because the Claude bros are as mental as the Bitcoin bros, sort of. But what they do is they just hype it up beyond absolute belief. They'll say the wildest things of like, they've always got an article going, this person's making $98,000 a day with a faceless YouTube channel. Here's the instructions how to do this with Claude. And people looking at this as if Claude's going to fucking do everything. And it's like, none of this is happening. But on those kind of posts, what I've noticed is you rarely get anybody going, can you verify this, Grok? Or a community note. None of those, because these are the ex-engagement bros. And that whole ecosystem has turned humans into bots. So it doesn't even matter if all the replies to it are bots or not, because humans are acting like bots now anyway. It could be AI automated stuff. It could be just them. But the whole engagement game on X, ever since they monetized it, you know, it's become its own business in its own right. And I've delved into this in a secret account. Right, I've participated in this, so I know exactly how this works. And it's all it is like you get the same playbook of how to build your account is reply to other accounts in your niche to boost your engagement and profile, add some value to it. And what they're doing is all the reply bros are never calling out the people talking their shit because they're trying to build their profiles. So what happens is all these audacious claims are like, oh, I let Claude trade on eToro for me for 6 days and now I'm a billionaire. I'm living on Planet Plonko. You're like, fuck off. But all these bros just come in and go, oh, sick. And they say just generic stuff. They go, yeah, bro, this is the future. Or it either looks like AI or they're just, you know, completely brain dead. They're just like, yeah, people have no idea about the capabilities of Claude. And they don't even know what the hell they're talking about because they haven't verified it or tried it themselves. They just want to boost their profile. So what you get all these audacious claims that are complete bullshit, and they're all validated by people who are behaving like marketing or propaganda bots. Like it's insane. It's a beautiful system when you look at it one way, because like you could just flat out send any bullshit out there, and all the people who want to boost their profiles and lick your ass are just going to help you along the way because they're all in it for themselves, and by helping you, they're helping themselves. And then you're going to get this huge problem of like validated bullshit. There's so much bullshit that has been validated by these people who are just literally hungry to blow up on X. And that's crazy. Like there should be one person actively going through all of these posts and going, nah, fuck off. You're chatting shit. Your Peruvian flake ain't that good, mate. Shut up. You know what I mean? But that ain't going on. The hype bros are absolutely flipping crazy, right? And the worst part of this is that the governments, right? Big business people, right? Pioneers, right? The authority figures in life. And the one thing you've got to remember about authority figures is that they're dumbasses. Like, everyone's an actual dumbass. I'm a dumbass, you're a dumbass. We're all dumb. Like, everyone's that much dumb because not everybody knows about everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Jeff Bezos, I'm sure, knows a lot about e-commerce. But what does Jeff Bezos know about the nuances of German philosophy? Probably nothing, mate. You know, so what I'm saying is, everyone's a bit of a dumbass, but we get consumed by authority, right? And we also get consumed by some other things. It's like what the hype bros do on X and the influencers do. You know, they utilize FOMO, fear of missing out, and they do dopamine spikes. So when you see a number like $86,498, that specific amount, you're like, well, that's a legitimate amount because it's an odd number, right? And your brain is like, oh, I want to make that much money because your life sucks, and you're like, oh God, I hate collecting bins for a living. I should start a faceless YouTube channel dedicated to Pikachu using fucking Claude. Maybe Claude can finger bang my wife when I'm too lazy. You know, and then you're like, oh, and then the FOMO is like, well, if I don't do this now, then everyone else is going to do it. I'm going to be still emptying bins and my wife will stay home. You're getting played, right? And the authority thing is how we get played too. And it's how they play themselves. Because you must remember, right? One of the things that conspiracy heads get wrong, right, is that they think everything is by design, when in actuality, it's just because the world is run by idiots. Like, a lot of people in positions of power got there because they probably had a nice face, or, you know, they left the toilet seat down in the office. Like, these are actual reasons that people will choose people. It's not always necessarily about competence, success. It's like, do you know what? Dave's all right. He tells good jokes at the office party. Like, literally, this is the kind of thing that happens. Oh, you know, right? Roger caught me finger banging Sandra in the toilets. He hasn't said a word. He's a top bloke. I'm going to promote him to chief financial officer. Yeah, but isn't Roger the fucking toilet cleaner? Yeah. But come on, he's a solid geezer. He's solid, like, solid geezer. There's many reasons why people step up in the world. It's not always about gobbling schlong and stuff like that. You know, there are many stupid ways people accelerate. And we get blinded by authority. And I'll give you a very true story about how we, on a low level, how we get blinded by authority. When I was doing film school, right, we go out shooting in places where you may get bothered by people saying, you know, what the hell are you doing? Do you have a permit and all this? It's like a guerrilla tactic was wear a high-vis jacket. Just buy some cheap high-vis jackets, you know, off Amazon or eBay, right? And wear them. Doesn't have to have any logos on it and nothing like that, because the human mind sees high-vis jackets and you doing something in public, and they immediately think, these people are there for a reason. I won't bother them because they have the authority sticker, and that's the high-vis jacket. Like, literally, and it worked. No one will come and bother you. In fact, they think, like, oh, they must be doing something official. Now, weirdly, at that university, this method got used, and I'm not sure if we got told that before this incident or after it, but I think it was before this incident. And I'm not sure if someone like spread this to somewhere, because it was a bit suspicious. But basically, they had the library, and the library had a massive Mac suite, right? Like 20, 40 iMacs. And one day, a bunch of boys turn up in high-vis jackets during the day when everyone's in this library, come up to the reception and say, yeah, we've come to collect the Macs for maintenance. And they walked out of all the Macs. They robbed the place. Like, they robbed the place on that principle because no one questioned them. The person in there hadn't even been told if there was, like, going to be some sort of maintenance or service being conducted. They just let them do it. They were blinded by the high vis. You're blinded by authority. You think because this person is the CEO of $1 billion company that anything they say must be taken as gospel. You think the government know what the hell they're doing. If anything, this is why it blows people's minds, because most people don't like the actual fact that the people in charge are incompetent. That makes people worry, because that's like chaos. You don't want to get on an airplane and know that the pilot is shitting himself saying, God, I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, like, that's not going to fill your confidence. Leadership is all about being confident about everything you do, whether you believe it or not. because that's what people respond to. There's even an episode of Star Trek or something where Captain Picard is like, oh, they're stuck on some planet. There's two of them, and it's like, well, which way should we go? And he's like, left or right? And he's like, this isn't verbatim. I can't remember. I'm not a Star Trek fan, but he's like, oh, let's go left. Yeah, definitely go left. And then later on, they're like, well, when you said we should go left, like, did you really know that we should go left? And he's like, no, I had no idea. But, leadership is all about being confident and instilling confidence in the people you're leading. So that's leadership, right? These people know that if they start going, yeah, we made a mistake, we don't know what the hell we're doing, everyone's going to lose their shit. Because everyone doesn't know what they're doing all the fucking time. Most of us are actually just coasting it. If you actually examine any business and really think about some of these businesses, you'll go, God, this is a bit of a whim, isn't it? Like, Jesus. All right? I worked in market research for a while, and it was like, so this business is built on the promise that the government wants to get data from the public to inform policy decisions, and that's going to be done by these people who can't get a job nowhere else, phoning people up at random, people who have from a list of numbers that we've been given, and they're going to try and persuade them to do a piece of market research that they don't care about and they have no idea what it does. They're not going to get paid for it. They're just going to have their time wasted. And it's like 20 minutes. And this is the business? This is the business, is it? Bothering people for reasons we don't know. And that's, you start to think about it going, Jesus, how is that a sustainable business? Well, it is. That company's been around for decades. The government do this. That's how the government inform policy decisions. The funniest part of it is that when I'm doing the phone calls, I'm getting paid. The government getting paid. But the people doing the research that provides government policy that will tell them what to do, they're not getting paid, but they're paying for it through their taxes. They're paying for me to bother them. Say what you like about the government. But when it comes to pure business evil, that is top notch. So, hats off to them for being a proper evil business. Not like a fake evil business. They're a proper evil business. So the point being is that, when Sam Altman goes up to government officials and tells them, oh, AI is super dangerous, and then you get the Pope talking about it, and they have a meeting at the UN, and Security Council's a meeting at the MI6 and the Pentagon going, fucking hell, have you heard about Claude Fable? Jesus Christ, I heard it gets you so high that you got to ask for a refund. These people don't know what the fuck is going on. They have no clue about this stuff. They go, you got people going, I need to be into AI. And it's like, well, what is that? They're saying, I don't know. What is AI? No idea. I know my child uses it to find out if the local shop is open or not, but I think it's very important. But I'm pretty sure. It accessed one of my PDFs very fast and gave me a summary in weird language, and also was quoting things that weren't in the PDF, were actually in a secret document that I sent to the woman I'm having an affair with. But anyway, I think it's super powerful, and I think it can actually start a nuclear Armageddon. Or maybe I got the idea from the 1980s movie War Games. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? This stuff has been implanted in us from people who are creators are going, cool, watch out for AI. And now we're all believing everything's fucking Skynet. It's HAL. You know what I mean? It's the thing in War Games. It's like, it ain't. It's an LLM, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It's not Aladdin. Aladdin is the supercomputer that they've had for a very long time. That's what BlackRock use. That's actual AI. The AI that Citadel have. That's AI. So they're getting confused when they're talking about, AI is super powerful. They're not talking about LLMs. You know what I mean? That's not what they're talking about. And the scariest part is when the government are using AI systems, we're using sophisticated AI systems to track criminals, and, the tax office is using it. HMRC is using it. We're using AI. You can't get away with hiding these things that you should pay tax on anymore because they've got sophisticated AI systems. What AI systems that hallucinate half the time? I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. What kind of mess is that going to create? How many people are going to get banged up because of that fucking nonsense? And then you're going to have, a court case where Claude's fighting ChatGPT and the lawyers are just asleep. Well, I fully automated. I got someone off Upwork, paid him 13 quid to use Make and Zapier and Claude and fucking Gemini to conduct my entire legal firm. Like, fuck off. AI has replaced the blockchain hype, go back 5 years, 6 years. Blockchain, 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 blockchain. Every startup, blockchain. Every influencer, blockchain. You see what blockchain is doing? Blockchain, NFTs. Now, Bitcoin obviously it was solving a problem. It's just not everyone quite understands the problem. That's part of the problem with the whole crypto ecosystem. I'm getting two things mixed up. But fundamentally, the issue with blockchain projects, it was always a solution looking for a problem. And that's the issue, right? There are many user cases for blockchain. Smart contract is a great idea. The concept of NFTs, providing actual value for things in a digital world where we just don't buy physical stuff anymore, was a good concept. But really, just buy physical stuff and rent a lockup. Stick in a lockup that has good air conditioning. Do that. You know what I mean? Like NFTs, bro. If you bought like 1,000 Freddos 10 years ago and found a way to actually store them without them going off, like you'd be a millionaire, and your NFT that you bought for £1 million would now be worth like 67 pence. That's a reality, right? Physical stuff. It was just, the blockchain thing hasn't failed. I think maybe we just haven't adopted it. I don't know. I'm not going to get into a discussion about blockchain, but that was the problem. And I thought AI was different until I started using it more. And I was like, yeah, what is this solving apart from making things faster? It's always about things being faster now rather than better. Do you know what I mean? Better. Like air travel isn't faster. We had a faster airplane. It was called Concorde. That failed because they didn't know how to fucking use it properly. Something. Ask someone else about that. Point being is, like, faster isn't necessarily better. Like, we just want better. Because everything else is getting shitter. Apps are getting shitter. Corporations are getting shitter. Like, everything's getting shitter. So what is the value in AI? It's like, what does it solve? I can't summarize a PDF in 2 seconds. Yeah, cool. I mean, that kind of stuff is cool. But it's probably going to create more problems than it is solutions, because everyone's sort of bought into the hype. It's the hype is how you make money. If you go to a company and say, you need to have AI, and they won't even question it because they've already been hyped up to the teeth. Oh yeah, I heard AI is going to turn into God. And then you could say, yeah, I'll be your AI consultant. Pay me this much money. You could get about, 6 months out of it. So charge a lot before they noticed, yeah, this hasn't done anything. It's made things worse. You're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. I believe the hype too. That's one way to make money. That's the solution. What does it solve? You want to make money. So become an influencer or a bullshit AI consultant. Because the only a true AI consultant that could actually make AI work for somebody has to be on the ball and very patient, and has to read through a hell of a lot of stuff. So really, the perception of it saving time it's all very nuanced with AI. You have to, if you've used it a lot, you know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't need to go into it. But the point is, other ways, apart from being an influencer, starting up an AI startup and getting people just to throw money at you because they won't even question, well, what's this going to do? They're like, oh, AI, yeah, got to throw money at that. Like blockchain. It's like, what's this going to do? It's like, something. It's the future. Oh, yeah, the future. Yeah. Future. Got it. Like, you just blind them with words. Like, you're just blinded with gobbledygook. Like, oh, my God, this is so powerful. You have no idea how this is going to revolutionize the world. Oh, my God. I got Claude to sort out my spam folder in my Gmail. Thank God that's done. I'm a millionaire. But the real value, let's face facts, the real value is the hype. The real value comes from buying NVIDIA stock. Any AI stock right now is pumping and pumping and pumping. When it crashes, because all bubbles burst, Like, just get out. You know what I mean? Take your profits and run. That's what I'm doing. I've been very happy with my Nvidia investments and other ones. You know what I mean? I'm very happy about it. I got no quibbles. And I'm trading it. I'm buying it. I'm selling it. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, that's nice profits there. I'll just take that. You know, don't go all in forever. That's the way you make money. Make money off the hype. All the people who's doing those, become a blockchain smart contract coder. Those are the ones that make money. The people doing the AI courses, the people riding the hype are making the money. But where's the real value? The real value is in the fact that people use AI and they don't even know why they're doing it. They believe the hype because you've got people who are marrying their chatbots. This has happened. People are committing suicide. People are leaving loved ones. They're taking all this advice. They are telling AI fucking everything. And I've done this too. Not everything, but I've I've tried to use it for different aspects of my life to see what it can do. If it can teach me stuff quicker than reading a book, because I'm quite dyslexic. So it's like, well, maybe this, and that has had an effect, but it does lead down a path where you're revealing too much. You're like, whoa, I need to quit whilst I'm here because my conspiracy brain is not turned on. Everyone needs a conspiracy brain. The problem is these days everyone just has the conspiracy brain and all the other brains are turned off. Don't do that. That's how nutters become ping. That's how you become a nutter. What I just said before didn't make sense. That's the route to nutterdom. Stop it. The data. Why do you think they're building data centers? Because they're storing your data. Facebook is built upon that data. Google's built upon that data. Cookies. All this stuff is that data. That key data for people like me to use for advertising. Right? Marketing is and that data is very useful, but there are many gaps in that data. There's so much guesswork. YouTube, there's guesswork. There's a lot of guesswork. It's nothing is concrete. You don't go, why do they click off at 37 seconds? That's kind of maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Who really knows? You could ask AI. AI will come up with 1,600 reasons because it hallucinates its tits off. You don't really know everything, but when you've got this intimate connection with this thing that just responds to you, they can have a conversation with that feels like a genuine conversation, but it's not. It's all just zeros and ones. It's a mathematical game of prediction. It's predictive text on steroids. I'm pretty sure I said that first, but other people have said it. But we've all come to the same conclusion because we asked the same chat to tell us what we should say. But people have got the illusion, right? And they're pouring their heart out. They're telling them things they don't even tell anybody. Stuff they probably wouldn't even tell themselves. They wouldn't even write in their fucking diary. But they're entering it into a data center. So where's the value in that? The value is, because this thing turning a profit isn't quite working, they need to get people to still use it and then sell advertising. That's the end of it. Or they set up an advertising firm. They replace Google, Gemini goes, right, we'll use this to make Google ads super fucking good rather than its shit state. ChatGPT is right. We're going to open up the world's most effective advertising firm. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. That's where it's because you've got data that you didn't even know you could get before. Because it's like reading people's minds. As anyone who's done any advertising campaign or marketing campaign or makes content and wants to know, I want to know what people are really thinking, because people ain't saying what they're really thinking. You can't access people's brains. And we've got Elon Musk creating AI, and he's also got Neuralink. You can actually extract people's actual thoughts, right? And then sell them shit. You want to talk about super targeted advertising campaigns? That is like a campaign, and this has been predicted before. It's an advert just for you. That's the end game of this. We ain't flying to Mars, right? We're not solving infrastructure problems. We're not making better trains, better customer service. We're making better salespeople because we got the information. Now, I'm all for that because I like doing sales. But the fact is, that's what you're going to get. And then think about what the government are going to do with that. Those naughty fucking bastards in the government. The evilest corporation on earth. What are they going to do with it? That's what, turn your conspiracy brain on a bit, right? Don't turn it right off. And don't crank it right up, because you'll end up doing something to a data center that you shouldn't do. Don't go full tonto. I'm just saying. That's where the value is. And people are still going to be using it. You talk to most average people, right? I mean, there's this bar I like to hang out in Saigon when I'm there. And the girl started working there, and she's like 19, she's a student. And I'm sat talking to her, and she's like, on ChatGPT, which is on her phone. At first I'm thinking, she's just looking at some bullshit because she's 19, and that's generally what they do. They're on TikTok going, oh, look at this. But no, she's on ChatGPT. And I'm like, oh, we doing that? I just talk to it. She just talks to it. She just talks to it. That's what people are doing. They're talking to it. They don't talk about fucking epidemic of loneliness. It's just talking to it. Like, God knows what she's telling it. I didn't delve that deep. I was like, all right. I was like, and she uses it for lots of different things. Anything. I'm sad today. Why am I sad? Jesus. I've cheated on my wife. Right? I've cheated on my wife. I've cheated on my wife. Shall I kill her? Yes. No, I don't know. Probably not. Yes? That's the response you'd actually get. That's where they've got access to all of that. Right? Are they going to share it with the government? Well, the government will demand they do, because if the government goes, oh, well, we need to shut you down because your latest model is godlike, and that's a bit dangerous. Ooh, China might send us loads more shit. You know what I mean? We don't want China to have that technology so they can sell us more tack. You know what I mean? Vladimir Putin might use it to write a spicy book. That's where the value is. It's you. It's your data. It's always your data. More data, more control, more access. Come off it. At this rate, it is the Amazon, right? It's the Amazon. Go where all those uncontacted tribes are, right? And just set up a new one. Become the new uncontacted tribe. That's probably where it's going to... I'm already planning for this. I've got everything in motion. I'm I'm going all out. I'm going to do a practice run in the Amazon. I'm going to ease myself into it. Get bitten by some weird parasite and have half my face swell up green and pus spew out my eye. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to condition myself for that life, because what's the alternative? AI ain't going to take your job, right? It's just going to take your soul and sell it to a corporation. That's more likely, because that's kind of how this stuff goes. The hype about it becoming God and launching wars, all this sort of nonsense. No, don't be ridiculous. Have you used what you're talking about? You're the one who made this thing. You must use it. They probably don't even use it. Well, I'm not using that shit. I have skewed this way towards the negative. I'm not saying there aren't uses for it, but when it comes to actually looking around and saying who's making life-changing wealth over the last couple of years from using this, all we've ever heard about is it could help you diagnose an illness better than a doctor because of all the nuances. That is genuinely a good thing. There are incidences in customer service where it gets rid of all the fucking time wasters, because if you ever worked in customer services, I have, you do get, I know, I've done a lot of things, haven't I? You get a lot of time wasters. Right, people asking just most stupidest questions you've ever heard. Going, so how do I turn my computer on? You're like, what's that got to do with this taxi service, you nutter? So there's that. But in terms of life where are the stories that you had from crypto of the guy who just put £10 on, I heart shit coins, I'm not gay coin, and became a billionaire, sat in his dirty bedsit. Do you know what I mean? He was in a dirty bedsit with his broken laptop. Just drunk as fuck. Went, I'll buy that. Put a trade on. Woke up in the morning. He's a billionaire. Like, there's loads of stories like that in crypto. Loads, legitimate ones too, and the nefarious ones. Doing rug pulls for fuck's sake. Where's those stories? There aren't any. There actually aren't any. Do you see what I'm saying? There's just the hype ones that aren't actually real. Like, there's the World Cup is on at the moment. One of the biggest hype ones is going, do you know how much money you can make from clipping the World Cup? They're just doing that because they know the World Cup is being searched. And they'll throw up any video of someone who's not even clipping World Cup clips and say, this person's killing it, $16,000 a day, from World Cup clips on a faceless shorts channel on YouTube. Now, anybody who knows about how YouTube works with certain clips from certain organizations, especially mainstream sports, because football rights is why football is such a rich game. Like, and this goes for some other sports too. You talk about NBA and things like that. They pay a hell of a lot for these rights. They work in cooperation with these companies. This is how they became synergized, because they were just like, you can't be posting that shit. But when YouTube was more of a Wild West, people had a job to go around and actually manually take stuff down. Now they've got AI, actual AI, that does it for them. You can't make money from football clips. You can't. Like, I met a guy I was going to do some editing work for, who ran a football channel, and he professionally runs channels. That's what he does. That's his business. And we got talking. He was talking about. He sent me an example edit video of one of the football things, and we got into the conversation. He's like, "Yeah, that was just a disaster." He's like, "I need someone to source clips that won't get copyright strike, and like football is just not the one. It's just a pain. Like, you can get views, but my God, it's just not worth it in the end." And this is a guy that doesn't give up on channels. He sees them through, but he was like, nah, he read it. He read the situation. And he was like, this is just too much effort. It's just ridiculous. Using football clips is not going to make you loads of money. It's just going to get you banned. So, I mean, this hype is all that exists with proof of how people are making money from it. Do you know what I mean? I've made a bit of money from using AI, like a bit. It has helped me with some things, but some things is completely off. Total waste of time. All right, and you got to go through that pain to work out what works and what doesn't, because everyone else is telling you either it's the shittest thing on earth or it's God. It is. No, like, all the people laying people off the replacement of AI are fucking bumperclass. But like I said, we assume everybody knows what the hell they're talking about. But they don't. This is why everything isn't by design, because that would mean that the people in charge and ruling the world are designing and are good designers. They're not. They really aren't. The evidence is clear everywhere you look. Oh, but they're very good at oppressing us. No, you've oppressed yourself because you've allowed idiots to dictate your life. That's why. I worked that out a long time ago. Don't take these people seriously. Their threats and everything like that. Take that. It's like, shut up. Oh, we're coming for you. Yeah, whatever. People actually thought COVID passports was going to be like a huge control over the planet Earth. No, don't be preposterous. These clowns do not give the credit out, because that's how we get in this mess. But turn your conspiracy head on a little bit. It's the data set. It's your data. That's the most useful thing they're going to get from it. And that is very useful. That's the user case. Wait for that data to become available for you to use for your business, right? As if you have a business. That's all you've got. Everything else is like, maybe. There's possibilities, but the technology has apparently advanced so much, and yet we don't have the evidence for this rip-roaring success. It's all completely either fabricated or overly speculated. Okay? When the IPOs drop, buy them, right? Watch it ride out, and just before it crashes, sell it. So the best thing you can do now is just learn about economics and trading. Like, that's where the opportunity is. Everything else is probably a waste of time because it isn't that concrete. But that kind of thing, history does repeat itself with these things. So these are good bets. That is not financial advice. That's financial fact. I'm not telling you what to do. Do what you want. But I'm saying, me personally, that's where I'm going. Like everything else, I'll use it for the use cases that I've discovered are useful. But for the most part, you know what I mean? It's not going to write that book you've been meaning to write. That's for sure. You know, it's not going to do stuff like that. Right? All these use cases that you see, right, are based upon bullshit, because like faceless YouTube channels, YouTube AI, I mean, they're saying, I run an AI animation factory for YouTube and are killing it. It's like, no, they're banning all that shit, you fucking bumperclap. Before you put out your engagement bait, do a little bit of research. Do you know what I mean? Jesus. Sam Altman's got a lot to answer for. Yeah. And at least with a lying drug dealer, you just be slightly disappointed. They never crashed the world economy.